Hey there, so today I'm going to talk about grief and its stages. Now, I do understand this is kind of heavy word because it's usually connected to someone that we truly loved dying. However, we can grieve also any kind of loss. So, divorce, maybe some health issue that don't allow us to live like we did before, or maybe losing a job, or even grieving an idea that we had for our life and now we figure it out, it just won't happen, right? So the thing is that when we lose something, we always go through these similar stages, and I think it's really important for us to talk about them, to understand them, so you can know where in your journey are you, that you can know this is not something unusual and that we all have to go through it, and also that you know that there is a way out, there is acceptance, so you know what exactly is going on in your body and in your mind. Now, divorce is not just a breakup, it's a deep loss. So, grief is your body and mind adjusting to this change. Now, I already mentioned in our last video, right, that our brain will always try to keep us in situations that they know that we know. So, this means that now we simply feel unsafe. So, these stages are simply just process going from feeling unsafe to feeling safe again, to getting to know this new situation that we are now in, which is basically necessary for us to feel comfortable again, right? Now, also, a very important, interesting thing here is that some of you might not feel this anymore because some of the marriages, usually wives, because we do almost 80% of marriage of divorces is initiated by the wife, um, and because a lot of men get emotionally checked out far before divorce happens, um, and then also women understand that she's not in this marriage anymore, not emotionally, right? So these phases can already happen when you're in marriage, when you're married, when you're living together, right? So basically it's not just after divorce, you might already gone through some of these feelings, right? Through from this process, as I call it, from us back to me, right? Because before it was me, then I got married, now it's us, and now it's just me again. So today we'll explore the stages of grief and simple ways how to move through them. And yes, grief is a totally natural emotional response to a loss. And divorce can trigger it, right? It's like really similar to losing a loved one. Maybe it's not so painful, or here I cannot, right? It's really different from case to case. However, yeah, we go through similar emotions. So it's your body and mind's way of processing change, and there is no timeline or right way to grieve. This is simply your process, and you take time to like really go through it. Don't force yourself, because at the end, if we force ourselves out of these stages too fast, then surely we will have to come back in if we haven't like deal with the emotional pain that this divorce cost us, right? So another thing here to mention is that you may also jump between these stages. So you might go to stage three and back to two and one, right? So yeah, again, this is your journey. Um, if you need anything, like if you want me to do anything personally for you, I can also do it. So always contact. So the stages of grief are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and last acceptance. Now, stage one, denial. Like now, this is not happening, not to me. You might feel numb or shocked. It might be hard to believe this is happening, and your mind is protecting you from overwhelm. So just give yourself time and focus on basic self care, right? Stage two, anger. we are so angry, like, why me, right? Why me? Why did it have to happen to me? Why did I get to know him? Like, why is this happening to my kids? So what I want you to do here is to allow yourself to feel anger, of course, safely. And you can do this by journaling. You can like do this with sports, moving. Don't judge yourself. This is really important because anger is just a normal feeling. It's usually a symptom that shows us something is not okay. But anger is really healthy, right? To put anger out in a healthy way is the best thing you can do for yourself, right? So just don't try to deny it. Don't try to just go with it, but stay safe in this period, right? Then bargaining. So if I have done things differently, trying to make sense of this loss. So I mean, what I usually do is, at least in these beginning stages, is blaming the other person. But then, of course, when I calm down, I understand it wasn't just right. We were both. But however, um, just like asking yourself, what could I change for it to go differently, right? But what is going on is that your brain just wants to control and understand. So just to remind yourself that healing isn't about blame, right? And this is one of my biggest life's tips, that at the end, no matter the situation, right? Not just divorce, at the end, it doesn't even matter whose fault it is. What we have to focus on is how we will solve this situation. So no matter what happens, don't blame yourself, don't blame other people, because blame will kill you. Just focus on how to find the solution. Now, depression, we all know this phase really well, right? Sadness, hopelessness, heavy emotions, loneliness, um, feeling like we did something wrong, like nobody liked us, like we have written on our forehead, I'm divorced, I'm alone with children. Like, yeah. So, what you're truly feeling is the depth of the loss, right? So, you have to create safe spaces for the rest and support. So, if sadness feels overwhelming, you have to ask for help. However, you are here, you're working, and I think you're a real action taker. So this is something you can be really proud of. Um, Now we all have these days when everything just feels so heavy, all the emotions are so heavy, we have so many things to process. But what we can do is just to like take our time, do the things we love, try not to get stuck in this, but but it's really important to like really feel it too, right? Not just trying to push it out, but just like to feel it, feel all the sadness, cry, do whatever our body needs. And then it comes stage five, which is acceptance. And here we are slowly finding peace with what happened. So we don't need any more explanations. We don't ask ourselves anymore why. We are not, I mean, it's still sad, but it's not like overwhelmingly sad. So here is where we start to create your new life. So what I see often is also women finding new friends, finding new hobbies, like really trying to balance the time when they have kids and when they don't. And I think this is such a magical phase, because sometimes we don't even notice when it happens. Just all of a sudden we are there, right? So like just start to visualize your life that you want to build, and you will slowly get confidence back. You will slowly find your the things that really makes you happy, right? So you will really start to live a full life after this. Of course, You can already be in the stage of acceptance and go back a little bit to anger, but the further in this process you are, the less pulling back will happen. So grief is not linear, as I already said. You may cycle through the stages, and every feeling is a step toward acceptance. So every hurt emotions that you're having is actually a step further. It doesn't matter how it feels, it is a step further, right? Now, healthy ways to process grief. Journaling, voice notes. This is something so powerful. Like just taking your phone, like spitting out everything that's going on in your head. Of course, you can delete it later. You don't even have to listen to it if you don't want to. Just uh, as much expression as you need. Now, when I said say expression, it can also be art. It can be music. It can be dancing. You have to find a way that works for you, right? Now, nervous system regulation techniques. So we already talked about that in our last chapter. However, I think they're really powerful. Movement, yoga, walks, dancing, art, everything that makes you feel happy, right? And even if it doesn't work right away, it is a step toward acceptance. So this is it about the stages. Check the resources below. If you need anything, let me know. I'm always here for you, and I will always try to do my best to help you go through this process.